Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the live stream. What a day, what a day. I am so glad to see all of you here. And I know that you have many options tonight. And some of them include just going to get chicken wings and fast food. And maybe you're doing that in addition to watching the stream tonight. But it is State of the Union Day, and we have so much to talk about in the time we have between now and the expected start of the speech. I do have a bingo card. You can find it at davidpakman.com/bingo. We will go over the card in a little bit, and we will go item by item, box by box. And I think it's going to be a great thing. We are also doing something extra special. In addition to being live on YouTube and live on Facebook and live on Twitch and live on Twitter, we are live on Substack, and it is so great to be there. And I want to say hi to everybody who is watching on Substack, including so many other people, Phyllis and Helen and Kimmy and Adam and everybody there. And of course, welcome to everybody on Twitch, including Namadorn, who I love. You love to see Namadorn. When you see Namadorn in a Twitch stream, you know that it's going to be very, very good. And of course, the YouTube faithful, including those who already have noticed that, yes, I am. Whoa, hold on a second. What on earth? That was weird. I'm wearing my Obama shirt. Obama. I expect, among other things, that we may hear Obama or Biden's name mentioned tonight. We are going to discuss the expected duration of tonight's speech, and I'm actually going to put my foot down in another anti-authoritarian stand, which I think many of you are going to like, quite frankly. And I also want to say, I did, by the way, I see people in the chat talking about this. I almost included Trump soils himself audibly on the bingo chart, but it felt not that likely.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly. So I opted not to include a square for Trump audibly soiling himself, but I may regret it. It may end up being the appropriate square to have included. Speaking of which, no, not that, but if you are new here, I am going to explain to you what we are seeing on the screen and sort of how these things tend to go, because there is sort of a lot of pomp and circumstance and even more pomp, to be quite frank. And we're going to get to that in a little bit. We also have, what do we have? I will take super chats on YouTube, which will pop up on the screen. We'll see if we get one. It'll pop up on the screen. And you could ask me about anything you want. And then, oh, here we go. For example, Soderbergh, as you see, hold on, let me see if I can get to this. Soderbergh says, thank you, David. Well, thank you, Soderbergh, for being here. I very, very much appreciate that. Let's take a look at, okay. So let's talk about the structure of the evening if we can. Relatively soon, we are going to see Donald Trump leave the White House and go to the Capitol, where the speech will be delivered. He will sort of wind his way through. It's a very short ride. I think it's like a 7-minute ride, and wind his way through Washington, D.C. over to the Capitol. And then we will see a whole bunch of people walk through what you are seeing on your screen right now. This is Statuary Hall. And although based on what we're talking about and the Epstein files, you might think that statuary means something completely, you might be thinking of statutory, and that is a completely different word. We're not talking about that. Although when we're talking about Congress, maybe it's an appropriate term. This is Statuary Hall, and eventually everyone will filter into the House side of the Capitol. Some of you may or may not know, people are often very familiar with the cupola in the Capitol building. On one side is the Senate, on one side is the House. The Senate chamber is relatively small. It wouldn't be big enough to accommodate all 535 members of the House and Senate, so State of the Union addresses are done over on the House side. You may be surprised to see that there will presumably be moments during which everybody will clap. This is tradition. And you might be saying to yourself, why on earth would we care about tradition and norms when Donald Trump has violated every single norm? That's a great question. It's a great question for Democratic lawmakers who presumably are going to clap at different points in time. Also interesting will be that after a week of attacking the Supreme Court justices traditionally go to the State of the Union address and sit relatively up in the front row. They don't clap, the idea being that they are not partisan, and so they just sit there. But the president typically does greet each of them individually. Trump has been trashing them for 5 days now since they made their decision about tariffs. So I think it's also going to be very interesting to see what sort of that dynamic is like. And we will sort of explore and keep an eye on that. I do want to just mention in passing, we just hit a major milestone on the YouTube channel, 3.5 million YouTube subscribers, which is truly an incredible number. When I started this channel, it took a year to get 1,000 subscribers, if you can believe that. A year to get 1,000 subscribers. And in the last few hours, we've added 1,000 subscribers. So thank you. I really appreciate that. And we are on the verge of some other pretty major milestones on some other platforms. So I really appreciate everybody. All of those 3.5 million. You know, they say your first 3.5 million is really the toughest. And I've got to tell you, I think that is probably true. Let's get to a couple of super chats. Chicago fan says 2 hours of loud sniffling incoming. Truly a model of perfect health. Love the show, David. Thank you. Appreciate that. Buckets asks, well, hold on. These are blowing up. Will any Dems heckle Trump like Marjorie and Boebert did? Normally I would say I don't expect that anybody's going to heckle Trump from the Democratic side, but I think it's plausible tonight. I think it's plausible. Have I listened to the new Deftones album? I have not. Dream BB says, David, remember that time a few years ago when you called the bonus show the Boner Show? That was fun. Sometimes I think about that. Yes, I had I don't know that it was Freudian in nature, but it was definitely a slip of sorts. The Real A1 Newbie has just gifted 5 memberships on YouTube. I really appreciate that. And that man agent says, you've educated me on so much on what's going on in the country since I found this channel, and I'm forever grateful for the work you do, man. Well, I really appreciate that, and it's so great to see you here and to have you here. Now, let me address the issue of Trump's length. Hold on. Everybody relax, okay? I'm talking about the duration, Trump's duration of the speech, okay? Over the last couple of hours, rumors have started to fly that this may be a 2-hour or even a 3-hour speech, okay? And I have 2 different thoughts on this. First and foremost, if the speech, I think I'm going to put a limit at 2 hours, and this is an ideological limit. These speeches tend to go 70 minutes, 80 minutes, 90 minutes, 100, 105 minutes. That's sort of like the typical range. 2 hours and even 3 hours, I find to be a disgusting channeling of some of the worst authoritarians in history and the present. This is something that Fidel Castro liked to do. Putin does this. Chavez and Maduro would do it. And the idea is that these authoritarians like to impose on others and go, I'm going to talk as long as I want, and you're going to sit there for as long as I talk. And it is a form of exerting control. It's the delusion that you're interesting enough to talk to people for 2 hours or 3 hours. Now, I know some of you are wondering, can Trump physically even do that? As some of you are also suggesting, there is a widespread belief that Trump wears diapers. So he may be able to do it. I don't even want to weigh in on that. I am against authoritarians. I am against Putin. I was against Castro. I was against Chavez. I was against Maduro. And I am not going to enable a 2 or 3 hour monopolization of people's time. So I'll tell you right now, if we do get to the point where this speech gets into hour number 3, I'm going to end the stream. And if people want to keep going beyond that, there will be no shortage. But it's just, I am not going to do anything. I'm here streaming because the State of the Union is an important annual part of the political process. And even though I think Trump is incompetent and dilapidated and deranged and all of that, the State of the Union once a year is something that I have streamed now for a really long time. 2 or 3 hour State of the Unions, reminiscent of some of the worst regimes and dictators of past and present, not my thing. Okay, it's going to be a no for me, dog. So don't expect me to be here for that. Now let me now do. We've gone layer 1, layer 2. Let's now go layer 3. There is an additional suspicion that Trump and the people around him are trying to mess with the betting markets, knowing the speech isn't really going to be that long, to get better odds on a short speech. And case in point, if you look at Polymarket, the odds of Trump's speech going over 100 minutes have skyrocketed starting this morning and just going up with a huge jump after 3 p.m. In addition to that, same thing on Kalshi. The odds of Trump's speech going very, very long have gone up. So I wouldn't put it past the Grift brothers of Don Jr. and Eric and a whole bunch of other people to float this stuff in order to mess with the betting markets, in order for them or their friends or whoever to end up capitalizing on it. I don't know. So it really could go either way. I'm just giving you all the information I have. Okay, so as far as that goes, you now have all the information that I have. Let's do a couple more super chats, and then we're going to get into bingo. Mark says, you said you play the drum. Do you play the drum in your intro? Have you ever tried to play it? I play drums. I don't play the drums in my intro. I've never tried to play the intro. Good questions, though. Do you think anyone in the administration gets arrested based on the Epstein files? I wish I could say yes, I think someone is going to get arrested, but I don't feel that at all strongly. And I wouldn't be surprised if no one gets arrested. Robert says, congrats on 3.5 million. Who do you like in the Illinois 9 district and Illinois Senate races? Not taking I'm not familiar enough with those races to take a position or make any declaration today. And by the way, I tend not to get involved in primaries. It's just, I just don't really tend to do it. S27, David, I'm upset with the direction Massachusetts is headed. Things seemed better with a moderate Republican governor. What are your thoughts? Well, I don't know what you're referring to. You'd have to be a little more specific. Tell us about the Nine Inch Nails show you went to, David. Yeah, I went to a Nine Inch Nails show. This is so crazy. For 15 years, 12 or 15 years, Stu Brooks, who is the new bassist for Nine Inch Nails, has been a follower of mine, and I've been a follower of his back from when he used to play with Matisyahu. And Stu and I have kept in touch, and Stu has now found himself, as Looney Lindsey Graham walks in, Stu has now found himself as the new bassist for Nine Inch Nails. And I did go to the Nine Inch Nails show. It was extraordinarily loud. I wore earplugs. I was relatively young for the crowd, interestingly, which I think kind of makes sense in a way because they were big when I was in middle school. So it makes sense that a lot of people who were like 20 when I was 12 or 13 were fans. But in any case, a lot of earplug wearing, a lot of people who understand the importance of keeping your hearing. And I also got to meet the great drummer Josh Freese and his wife. It was a great show, great experience. Let's see what else. Take the over or under on Trump glitching 4 times. I think Trump will glitch under 4 times. If I'm taking the under over, I would say Trump glitches 0 to 3 times. Is Trump spitting tonsil stones like spitballs on the bingo card? Love you, David. God bless the United States. Let me see if I have that one.
And God bless the United States.
God bless the United States. I don't have tonsil stone firing on the bingo card. I don't. David, you ever read Lord of the Rings books? No. No Lord of the Rings for me. No Harry Plopper. It's a no for me. I read a ton of sci-fi, not fantasy. Okay. Arthur C. Clarke. I could list dozens. Okay. But no Lord of the Rings, no Harry Potter for me. It's just a no. It's a hard no. All right, let's now deal with the bingo card. I hope that you will join me tonight and participate in bingo. davidpakman.com/bingo. Let's review what is on the bingo card. First of all, the free square is Trump tells a lie. I mean, it's just like, what's the point, right? Oh, and you know what? This is from our old fundraiser. I'm just going to delete that. Bingo card, free square there is Trump tells a lie. Here's what we have. Trump says, we've never seen anything like it. Trump threatens a country. Trump claims he solved immigration. Trump hurls personal insults at someone. Trump says the U.S. is now respected again. Trump says we have the best economy ever or in the world. Trump uses the phrase transgender for everyone. Trump uses a nickname for someone. Trump uses the phrase radical left. He blames Biden for something. He mentions the ballroom. He claims he won in 2020. He says drug prices are down by an impossible percentage, like, for example, 1,000% or 11 billion or something like that. Trump slurs his speech. Trump claims he ended 8 wars. Trump claims that he has a victory on trade. Trump says he inherited a mess or the worst whatever in history. Trump says that prices are down and inflation has been solved. Trump says that something will happen over the next couple of weeks. The Nobel Peace Prize is mentioned. Dow 50,000 is mentioned. Trump glitches. Trump attacks the Supreme Court. Trump confuses requesting asylum with an insane asylum, aka a psychiatric hospital. I might have bingo after 5 minutes. So I hope that you will play along. You can find a bingo card exactly like this one. Play with my same bingo card at davidpakman.com/bingo. And I hope that people on Substack join us and play. People on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, everybody is welcome to play. I see a lot of people. Oh, a lot of people are predicting a blackout. They're saying this is going to be, someone says the last 2 aren't going to hit. Attacks the Supreme Court, confuses asylum and insane asylums. I don't know. Here's how I think the insane asylum thing could come up. There might be a point. One of the things Trump likes, actually, you know what I wanted to have on here, and I had it in an earlier version and I removed? Trump telling an out of context, lurid story about an immigrant that committed a crime. One of the things I think Trump might do is bring someone into the chamber who is somehow connected to a crime committed by an immigrant, at which point Trump will go off script and go, we're going to stop it. They're emptying out their insane asylums. They're emptying out their prisons. So I think it's possible. I think it actually is possible that that we see that one, but we will find out. Let's see. Warrior King says, just realized I was not subscribed. Congrats on 3.5 million. Thank you. Daniel says, rumor is he's going to make an announcement to put a man on NARS. Yeah, Caroline Levitt teased that there will be policy announcements, but I actually anticipating that the Mars thing might come up.
The United States will be the first nation to land an astronaut on Mars.
Yeah. So that would be an interesting thing. But we're gonna you have to watch. That's the only thing you have to watch. All right. We have a goal tonight of 100 new website members. I want to say thank you right now to Rocky Hart, Jeffrey Reiser, Janine Russell, Kayla Carvalho, Georgia Sapwell, and Vishal Chanduri, all of whom just signed up on my website, and that puts us at 6. I would love it if you use the coupon code SADTRUMP at joinpacman.com. I don't even know how much, it's an old coupon code. Trump has gotten very sad. So the coupon code SADTRUMP saves you big bucks off of a membership. There has been no more important time to support independent media, I would argue, than right now, as we are quite literally trying to defeat wannabe fascists. Okay? So we'll get back to that. A few other super chats. Have you read any Greg Egan? Yes. I don't remember which of his books I read. Let me see here. Oh, maybe I haven't. Maybe I haven't. I'll make a note to check out some Greg Egan books. I appreciate that. Are there betting odds regarding whether his State of the Union speech will contain more horseshit or bullshit? I haven't seen any. I haven't seen the betting markets on that, so it's anyone's guess. You are seeing Senator Lindsey Graham here, photographed with dilettantes and suck-ups of different flavors and varieties. We will continue to watch as other people will be entering the chamber. Over on C-SPAN, they are waiting for the president to head over to the Capitol building, and CNN continues to have a camera fixed inside of Statuary Hall. Okay, yeah, I see people in the chat talking about how long the speech will be. We had a whole thing about the duration, and there may be sort of like betting market scams floating around the issue of the duration. I don't know, but my commitment is I will not participate in signal boosting these Castro-like 2, 3, 4 hour speeches. So if Trump goes over 2 hours, I'm going to cut it. And then I'm going to record a sort of reaction video after this. We'll upload it everywhere, and it'll kind of give you my my final thoughts on this speech. I guess I should briefly address. Oh, by the way, thank you to everyone who is supporting the stream over on Twitch, including Captain Smiles and Billy Carpenter and so many other great people. One of the things I want to address is that I'm aware that there are a lot of people who are boycotting the speech, for lack of a better term, watching counter programming or just doing something else. I respect everybody. I respect everybody's decision. For me, watching interviews with lawmakers while the speech is going on, I just want to see what the speech is. Let me later hear from lawmakers in terms of their reaction, but I consider the State of the Union speech an important thing that happens every year. So even if it's a completely non-respectable person like Trump, I still want to hear what it is that is said, how people in the chamber react, whether elected officials choose not to be there, all of that stuff. And so if you don't want to watch, which, I mean, if you're here, you're probably not in that group. I respect the decisions that everybody makes. Do whatever is best for you, of course. Raricus says, I think it'll also be interesting to keep track of his decline. His speech may start with vocal clarity, but quickly descend into a slurring mess. I agree.
Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat your...
Exactly. Laura says, David, how do you maintain your mental health nowadays? Well, I still strictly adhere, unless there's like an emergency of some kind. I adhere to, when I'm done filming the Friday show, I try to check out of all news and politics until I start working on the Monday show. I haven't watched cable news in probably 8 years. Like, I'll get clips I need for the show. But, you know, I it's funny because I still know people who go, oh, I'm watching like a couple hours of cable news, CNN, MSNBC, whatever. I just do not do that. I don't find it to be a good use of my time. Others can decide for their time. And so I think those structured breaks are important. Christmas Cat says, my mom just got off the MAGA train. Praise Christ. This is a historic shift from corporate to independent control. Well, Baruch Hashem. Extraordinary news, Christmas Cat. Extraordinary news. Read Andy Weir if you're a sci-fi fan. Yeah, I've read all of Andy Weir's stuff, and I've actually interviewed him on the show. So if you're interested in interviews with sci-fi authors, I have interviewed him. I've also interviewed Joe Haldeman, who has written The Forever War, which is, I believe, a phenomenal sci-fi book. Jeff wants an Obama. Sure.
Obama,
I'm also wearing my Obama shirt. We sell these at store.davidpakman.com, along with the Deport Melania hat. This is so funny. We had the idea of a Deport Melania hat. Some of you may know, Melania really, by Trump standards, should have been deported. She was here and worked illegally for a while. She was here without work authorization and worked. Okay, so number one offense. Number two, she convinced someone, seemingly with Trump's help, that she's deserving of an Einstein visa, if you can imagine that. So if anybody's getting deported, really, quite frankly, it should be Melania. We put up this Deport Melania hat. We didn't promote it at all, and it just started selling, which is funny because sometimes we just have an idea, and it's like, who knows if it's going to be interesting or popular. Let's see. James says, if anyone wants to watch a stream with better hair, check out Brian Tyler Cohen. I take issue with that. I really take issue with that. You know, tell me that Brian's audio is better. Tell me that Brian's studio is better. Tell me that Brian's facial hair is better. Tell me you like the fact that Brian has a dog. Tell me you like the fact that Brian uses 3 names like a serial killer. Brian Tyler Cohen, John Wayne Gacy. Come on, guys. Tell me anything, but not the hair. Okay, guys? I think on the hair, I actually have him beat, both on length and thickness and density. Okay? So I don't even think we should allow that, quite frankly. If there are any moderators here, and who knows if they are. Okay. I want to say thanks to Joanne Truscott, Jason Sickmeyer, Jeff White, and Jason Newharth, as well as Eugene Cha, all of whom just signed up on my website, putting us at 11. As you can see, the goal is 100, and we are mere minutes from Donald Trump's arrival in Statuary Hall. Let's see who we can spot coming in. I know a few people who are going to the speech, as guests of different folks and that sort of thing. This is a view inside the chamber where Donald Trump is going to discharge his presidential duty. He will be arriving probably in about 15 or 20 minutes. Welcome to Kimchi Rainbow and a whole bunch of other people. Susan Golenblock, thank you for signing up on my website. Let's get to, a few other things. Are all MAGA traitors? Is the super chat question. Well, I don't know what you mean by all MAGA. Does that mean every Trump voter or everyone who is hardcore MAGA? I don't know what you mean by that. But no, I would not characterize every single person who voted for Trump as a traitor. Now, let me update you on what is going on here. On the left, you see images from the Capitol. On the right, this is the exit from the White House. Donald Trump and presumably other people who still tolerate his presence will soon be exiting through the green door. Trump will get in his car and will make the short, very, very short ride over to the Capitol. We are going to see that momentarily. Thaddeus says, what would you like to see from the Dem response to the speech? Do you think they should have picked a different speaker or location? I don't even know who's giving the response. Democratic response to State of the Union. Is it Governor Spanberger? Oh, I kind of like that. I like that. I've had her on the show and I've gotten to know her personally a little bit. She's really good. I actually think that's good. Location, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's a reference to all of the chaos in Minneapolis, but I think Spanberger is kind of interesting as a choice. Would I collab again with Kyle Kulinski? You tend to avoid each other for whatever reason. I don't avoid anybody. I just am in my own world, really. Will you try to interview James Tallarico soon? We have invited him on the show numerous times and so far have not heard back. He is welcome anytime. Hey, David, big fan. Thanks for all you do. Appreciate that, King Awesome. Thank you very much. Let's see. Oh, some people like Abigail Spanberger in the chat and some people don't. All right, well, one of the things I think is great is the Democratic Party has a very deep bench right now. And this is sort of, this has become kind of toxic in the sense that now the big thing in some areas of the left is as soon as anybody mentions someone that they like, people jump in and attack them. So if someone goes, oh, I don't know, I think Newsom wouldn't be bad, in comes an influx of, he's not really a progressive and he's terrible on this. And what about homelessness and blah, 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 blah. And then someone will go, oh, you know, I like AOC. And then income people go, she's inexperienced and she screwed up the Munich Security Conference and she's going to screw us. And we need a couple things right now on the left. We need a very robust primary, number one. And we need to not preemptively just start trashing people in a way that suggests that someone from the MAGA wing of the Republican Party would be better. We're fighting wannabe fascists here, okay? And so if you said to me, it's Newsome or J.D. Vance, obviously, I think Gavin Newsom would be better. And Gavin Newsom would be fine as president, okay? If it's AOC or J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio, of course AOC is going to be the better option. It's 2026. No one's declared anything yet. And so I think that hopefully some lessons have been learned about how to successfully carry out a campaign and how not to. And we're going to have plenty of time for this. We have a primary process, okay, for sorting this out. Let's see. Super chats. Did I ever go to shows at Pearl Street? Yes. Oh, I grew up in Northampton, Massachusetts. I went to shows at Pearl Street. I did. Son did BHM for Obama. Proud to have him watching. Excellent. Excellent. Whatever happened to Pedro from Colombia? Is he okay? I have no idea. I would love to hear from Pedro. I would love to hear that. Excellent commentary, David. Thank you. Who are my favorite presidents of all time? I don't have favorite presidents. I don't have favorite politicians or presidents. I just don't really think about people in that way. So unfortunately, I don't have a satisfying answer to that one. I wish I did. I really do. But I don't. I see some people in the chat talking about Andy Bashir. I'm going to be doing something with Andy Bashir very soon. And I think people are going to like it. I like Andy Bashir. I'll say more about it soon. I shouldn't say exactly what, because then stuff gets canceled and I seem silly. But I like Andy Bashir. What's the best way to find past interviews? Looking for DNC chair interview from this past year. I did not interview the DNC chair. So you must be thinking of a different show. Wonder if we'll get another passionate speech from Katie Britt. Yeah, exactly. Katie Britt, not exactly a great speaker, but she was chosen at some points to deliver such speeches. And it was pretty embarrassing and completely pathetic. All right, let's reset as we are now at the bottom of the hour. Any minute, we are going to see Donald Trump depart the White House to make the 7-minute drive over to the Capitol building. And I think that it will be quite an evening. As a reminder, there are rumors that Trump's speech may go 3 hours. I'm not going to do that. That is what authoritarian strongmen do, and I am not going to participate in that. So my max tonight is going to be 2 hours, and then I will cut it. That is very generous when you consider historical State of the Union durations. We are also doing something a little different tonight. In addition to being live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and X, we are live for the first time in this format on Substack. So I want to say welcome to the 1,100 of you watching on Substack. If you are not yet subscribed to my Substack, it's free. Please do it. And I don't say this for no reason. There's a reason I'm saying Substack. Any one of the platforms we're on could shut us down at any time. In fact, it's happened. We've been shut down on Facebook. We've been banned on Twitch. We've been demonetized and shadow banned on YouTube. If that happens, I have no way to reach anyone that is a follower on any of those platforms. That's like 7.8 million people, okay? Substack lets us download our data. And so every week, we download a file of all of our Substack free subscribers. That's the list I will use to contact you if we ever get knocked off any platform, okay? So I see people saying first time on Substack, love it. It's free. Substack.davidpakman.com. That's it. That's it. It's very, very easy. All right. Let's see here. Thanks for, okay, hold on. We've got so much going on. David, any thoughts on the NPR story about the missing Epstein files? I'm going to be covering that on the show tomorrow. Okay. So stay tuned for that. Thank you for the accurate bingo card, David. Oh, I should reset that. If you're just joining, we have a bingo card tonight. Go to davidpakman.com/bingo. It is play along. We're all going to be doing it together. It's going to be, I think it's going to be very good. Very, very good. Other super chats. Small Doll wants an Obama.
Obama.
Any word on how Aubrey from Wisconsin is doing? I have no idea. I haven't heard from Aubrey from Wisconsin for a long time. What you just saw video of there. Oh, let's see if we're going to see it. No, not here. What you are about to see are the senators going from the Senate chamber over to the House of Representatives. This is also kind of part of the pomp and circumstance of State of the Union addresses. That is where the speech is delivered over on the House side. And it looks like they are starting to do that right now as we wait for Donald Trump to leave the White House. Is the Olympic hockey team going to the State of the Union? Absolutely no idea. Couldn't tell you. Would you drive a Tesla? Do I have Tesla here? Hold on. Do I think I've, let me see.
America Grande Ultra Best.
No, that's not it. Here is JD Vance walking into the House of Representatives, one of the most painfully uncharismatic and unlikable people maybe to ever engage in American politics, that JD Vance. Horrible, horrible person. I see Chuck Schumer there. And here is Donald Trump lumbering over. Let's see if we can get the actual video here. Donald Trump lumbering over to his limousine and will be making his way to the Capitol building now. It is happening right now. Here is Trump getting into his car, and he will shortly drive away. I used to drive a Tesla, and then I decided I don't want a damn thing to do with Elon Musk. I sold all my Tesla stock, and I got rid of the Tesla. And now I have a Rivian, and I am very happy with it. It has longer range, great features, and I don't feel horrible about having one. So that's where I'm at right now. Okay. Serrano T. Roxas says, I think Newsom would be a good president. Many people do, many people don't. Raina says, I won't vote if the choice is Vance and Newsom. Raina, I say this with total respect. That's very stupid. Like that's painfully stupid, Raina. The difference in where this country would go under a President J.D. Vance versus a President Gavin Newsom, you wouldn't vote? What possible justification would there be for that? I hope that there aren't too many people like that, because I think we're screwed. I think we're screwed if that's the case. Who are your favorite fictional presidents? Fictional presidents. I don't know. Maybe I liked hold on a second. Who was it? I don't even know. I don't even want to get involved in that. Wadley says this is so much bigger than Republican and Democrat. It's become a dystopian-esque country. We can't truly have change unless the citizens do something. Correct. 100% agree. Thoughts on Robert Putnam, author of Bowling Alone? We tried to get him on. I'm a big fan of Robert Putnam. I recently read Bowling Alone. He's getting up there in years, and I don't know how many interviews he's doing, but I would love to have him on. Maxine says, David, I appreciate you so much. You're part of my daily ritual. I recommend you to everyone. Subscribed on everything. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Will Andrew Mountbatten Windsor be guest speaker tonight? Yes, that's the former Prince Andrew. The former Prince Andrew, as we await Donald Trump at the Capitol. 4 years ago, I asked you what your assessment was of Biden's presidency. You said it was too early to tell. How about now? I think Biden's presidency had several important achievements, including the CHIPS and Science Act, navigating our way out of the pandemic, getting us out of Afghanistan, presiding over a reduction in inflation from over 9 down to the desired level of 2 to 3%. And in addition to that, is unfortunately mired in the decline of Biden and a re-election campaign that never should have been. Let's take a little bit of a listen to what's going on. The Vice President, J.D. Vance, has just been announced. And again, this is one of those moments where if you're new to this, you might be saying, why is everybody being so friendly? Why is Chuck Schumer smiling behind J.D. Vance? This is how it works. This is part of the tradition. And as a result, that is what we are seeing right here. All right, well, we'll watch J.P. Mandel work his way in and others. Let's continue with Super Chats. Are we expecting major announcements? Caroline Levitt claimed that, yes, there would be major policy announcements tonight. What they are going to be, I have no idea. Swoosh says, it is known that Trump is conflict avoidant in person. Do you think he goes after the justices in person? I lean towards no. Do you still think Democrats will win the House? I do. Mark says, M. Wolf version of Trump Epstein fallout about real estate with death treat differ from mainstream media. Can you comment on the likeliness, please? I'm going to have to do more research into that. Nobody's ever seen a union in better state. Exactly. Couldn't have said it better. Thank you for your show. How do you feel about James Tallarico here in Texas? You know, I like James Tallarico. I like Jasmine Crockett as well. I don't know what the polling says. I haven't looked, and I should. I am interested to see how how the polling is looking. Good chunk of the reason Trump got elected again is because of people deciding they didn't want to vote. Not voting because you don't like Newsom may as well hand Republicans another win. Yeah, I mean, listen, we can just have Republicans keep winning, you know? It's like, it's really good for independent media until they shut us all down, of course. I would rather just vote for the better option and have the better option win. Like Harris would have been better than Trump on every issue. And I wasn't going around going, oh, Kamala Harris is just awesome. She's God's gift to politics. But she was the better choice. And so I voted for her when it came down to it. Welcome. Wow. Welcome to everybody coming in. What is happening? But it's so great to see everybody. It's great to see everybody on YouTube. I love that the Substack Live is working. We have not ever done one of these streams on Substack before. I've just done like the one-on-one, talking head Substack interviews, but it's a phenomenal thing. It's a phenomenal thing that we have made it onto Substack, and welcome to everybody who's been signing up and following there and all of that stuff. Let's see. Other super chats. Speaking of Freudian slips, remember when you referred to Mitch McConnell as bitch? It's a classic. So funny. We should really do a compilation of my Freudian slips. There was Mike Fuckabee was a good one. Bitch McConnell. The Boner Show. I'm trying to remember the other ones. Yeah, I don't remember them. Any thoughts on the new $10,000 new car deduction? I don't know a thing about that. $10,000 new car deduction. You may be able to deduct up to $10,000 of interest on a loan, only for taxpayers with an income up to $100,000. I mean, it's fine. I don't have huge, strong feelings about it one way or the other, but it's okay. Can you have that guy investigating election interference back on the show soon? I hear there have been new developments. They email us every week with some new development. I feel like I've done it. I don't know how, he made some initial claims. I evaluated them. I didn't find them compelling. I don't know how many times we're to go, well, this time we've got something new. and then we evaluate it. I just don't know how much the audience wants that. If the audience wants it, I'll do it, but I don't know how much the audience wants it. Let me say a couple of other thank yous. Wow. We just got, let me see if I even have this here. I want to make sure. Yes.
Big, massive dumps.
We just received a dump of new members like no one has ever seen before. I want to say thanks to Linnea Tobias, Deanna Witt, Jessica Keel, Mike Widener, BJ Shearsby, Jeremy Odd, David Figueroa, David Johnson, Jimmy G, Sybil Barba, Tracy Wagner, Charles Hipp, and Amber Aman. That's 13 new members on the website. 13 plus 12. 3 plus 2 is 5. Nothing. Hold on. 13 plus 12. 3 and 2 is 5. Nothing to carry. 1 plus 1 is 2. I think that's 25. Yeah. We have a goal of 100 new members tonight. Of course, if you'd rather support over on Substack or anywhere, you are welcome to do it.
Dumps.
Exactly. Oh, boy. All right. Other super chats coming in. Did the gold sneakers ever ship? I believe that Trump's sneakers never shipped. Here's Senator Raphael Warnock, who was recently on the show. Great to see him. Who else is coming in here? Senator Andy Kim back here. All right. A lot of people. I'm so tired of the infighting and purity testing from the left. Yeah, I am. We were talking about this recently. I just despise the infighting of the left. And it's not that I agree with everybody. In fact, I have profound disagreements with so many people on the left. But I don't particularly find it interesting to just create drama with other people on the left. And also, my audience really doesn't like it. I've got, I've tried some, when Jimmy Dore left the left and became sort of this right-wing conspiracy, anti-vax kind of grifter type thing years ago, I kind of covered it a little bit. My audience didn't give a damn. The clips performed terribly, and the comments were, "This is beneath you. This let these leftists do this crap, but don't get involved in it." And so I find it counterproductive, and I don't find it interesting to cover. At the end of the day, I cover what I want to talk about, and the audience doesn't like it. So why am I going to participate in that? It doesn't make any sense. You voted for Harris, someone who agreed that males and female uses same bathroom and also in sports. Are you out off your mind? Okay. Presented without comment. Thank you. Let's see other super chats here. Absent Dems should have Epstein victim faces in seats. Yes, I agree. I did the math. If Dems and independent that vote with Dems get all open Senate seats, it'll be a supermajority in the U.S. Senate. Yeah, it's just not going to happen. And I'm just like, oh, but you're being negative. And Democrats are not getting a supermajority. Nobody's getting a supermajority in the Senate. Thanks, Acronis, for gifting 5 memberships. Boner Champ says, David, I really like the glasses. Can you say these are due back Thursday? One of the things I'm trying to develop is taking the glasses off in a particular way and then putting them back on when I need to look at something, even though it's totally insane because I actually need these for distance. I can't see a thing. Is that Arnold Schwarzenegger walking in? Hold on. Oh my God, it's Susan Collins. Yeah, see, I really need these. I do need these. Otherwise, the entire stream would be a problem. But I am kind of trying to develop a, Brett Baer on Fox News really knows how to do it. Other super chats. Have you heard the Pam Bondi Dow remix? No. Let's see if I can find that. Pam Bondi Dow remix. Sounds sort of interesting. The Dow is at 50K. Let's take a listen.
The Dow is over I don't know why you're laughing. You're a great stock trader, as I hear, Raskin. The Dow is over 50,000 right now. The S&P at almost...
That is fucking wild.
I don't know why you're laughing.
Okay. I think that must be the wrong one because that one's not very good. But I'll look for another one very soon. I think election wasn't rigged. Harris had no time. The election wasn't rigged. No, Trump just won. Trump won the election. Trump lost in 2020. Trump won in 2024. I think that's basically it. People should take a look at 90s politics to remind themselves how far we've fallen. Newt weaponized politics. Democrats and Republicans are not the same. Yeah, I write about this in my book, The Echo Machine, which is right here. Extensively. Thoughts on Josh Turek for Iowa Senate, similar to Tallarico. Interesting backstory, though. We're talking to them about having him on, I think, or they're talking to us about being on. So I might have more to say about that in the future. Michael says, rage against the dying of the light. Is there anything about MAGA you like? Not really. It's really hard to think of anything about MAGA that I like. I don't know. I teach elementary music and we're doing a Spanish unit. Any music you recommend or personal favorites? Well, I mean, there's a band I really like. A couple Argentinian bands I like are Los Pericos. Excellent reggae band. Los Fabulosos Cadillacs. That's another great band. There's a lot of great Argentinian bands. But I don't really know what your unit is doing necessarily. Ian Fraser says, Aroanui, love big from New Zealand. Love it. Love it. It must be, what is it, 10 a.m. in New Zealand or something like that? Current time in New Zealand. 2:47. Oh my God. It's 16-hour difference. That seems counterintuitive. I don't even know how that's possible. Oh, it's 2:47 p.m. March 4th. Oh my God. So they're like 7 days. They're like a week ahead of us. That's crazy. That's really crazy. All right. Other super chats coming in. Infighting is what 30% of America wants. Remember Pizzagate. Let's finish this together. Hey, there's our friend Amy Klobuchar. Great to see her. She was on the show not long ago. Genuinely a very nice person. Genuinely a very nice person. As we stand by here for Donald Trump, I want to say thank you to Sean Higgins, Will Johnson, Cheryl Park, Tracy Srail, and Tara Smith, who pushed us to 30 new members tonight. We have a coupon code. If you go to joinpacman.com and use the code SADTRUMP, because he has gotten really sad, you save like 50% or some ungodly percentage. I don't even know what it is. And I really also want to just say hello to everybody watching on every stream. It's great to have all of you here as we are now just moments away from Donald Trump's arrival and the speech scheduled to start within minutes, so that people know what we are going to see. Trump will arrive. He will walk through Statuary Hall. He will be announced and enter the House chamber. He will spend some amount of time shaking hands and getting up to the lectern. At that point, he will be introduced, and then there will be another round of applause, completely perfunctory in every way. And then hopefully, after all of that is done, he will start a speech that is rumored to potentially be as long as 3 hours. I will tell you right now, I don't respect that. That's what Castro and Putin and others do and did. And I am not going to participate in that. I am going to stream for a reasonable amount, which to me is like these things rarely go over an hour 40 or an hour 50 with normal presidents who respect and value other people's time. After that, I will probably cut it because I'm just not going to enable the sort of lunatic, endless speeches of people who are, quite frankly, addicted to the sound of their own voice, as is Donald Trump. Election interference equals Elon pre-filled ballots, says Sonia. David, I've been seeing a trend of Jewish American liberals shifting to the right because of some Democrats' anti-Israel stance. What do you think about that? I'm not aware of that. As far as I know, from the data I've seen, Jewish Americans are still the most left-wing voting bloc, roughly tied with Black Americans. So I have not seen that borne out in the data. You should try to get Timothy Snyder back on. That's a good idea. He's excellent. We should try to get him on. Your critique, 50-year mortgages, but inflation and deductions on interest paid on taxes could make it worthwhile, right? Healthy debt can be good. The SIBO, abstractly, you're not wrong. Practically speaking, you're extremely wrong. The degree to which so deducting interest is great, but you're only deducting a fraction of it, right? You're only deducting the amount equivalent to your tax rate. So it's sort of like when people go, I just saved $100 on a $200 item. It's like, right, but you could have saved all of it by just not buying the item. And so I think we've got to consider that. All right, let's listen a little bit here.
To escort the President of the United States into the House chamber. The Senator from South Dakota, Mr. Thune. The Senator from Wyoming, Mr. Barrasso. The Senator from Arkansas, Mr. Cotton. The Senator from West Virginia, Mrs. Capito. The Senator from Oklahoma, Mr. Lankford. The Senator from South Carolina, Mr. Scott. The Senator from New York, Mr. Schumer. The Senator from Illinois, Mr. Durbin. And the Senator from Minnesota, Ms. Klobuchar.
The members of the escort committee will exit the chamber through the lobby doors.
Yeah, all right. We are getting very, very close to the start of this speech, and it is going to be explosive in a lot of different ways, and also probably very, very confusing to a great degree. But we are going to cover it and see what the big proposals are, the big policy announcements supposedly coming from Donald Trump. Some people seem not to know. I know that it's not like a week later in New Zealand. That was just a joke. For 3 hours, we might see Sleepy Don do another oopsie. Yeah, I did not include Trump soils himself on the bingo card. I didn't include it. I didn't think it was that likely, but certainly something that could have been included. I just want to remind you, we are playing State of the Union bingo tonight, and you can find your own card at davidpakman.com/bingo. It'll be just like my card, which I will fill out as we go. But you can fill it out. It'll randomize the location, and we'll see who gets bingo. I think it'll be interesting to see. Will I keep a tally of demonstrable lies? No, it's mostly going to be lies. So it would be very, very difficult to do that. I'm going to keep a track of the biggest areas I want to correct tomorrow on the show. But keeping track of every lie would prove to be truly an exercise in frustration. And I don't want to be frustrated tonight, or at least more than I have to be. Let me put it that way. The speech is expected to start at 9 p.m. Yes, indeed. And the president is expected any moment. Will I take calls on the Friday show again? Not taking calls on the Friday show has worked pretty well. And I don't know that we're going back to that. But I did do a TikTok stream last week. And people called in, and it was a good alternative. So I think that would be completely fine. Clicking your link sends me to the home page, not the bingo page. What link? Clicking what link? The link is davidpakman.com/bingo. I just typed it in, and it takes me to the bingo card. Yeah. So I don't know what you mean by clicking your link. Typing it. Yeah, you typed it wrong then. I just tried it. It worked beautifully and perfectly. 800% discounts on membership like drugs. Yes, if Donald Trump announces his healthcare plan, we will issue an 800% discount off of memberships. It makes no mathematical sense, but we will do it. By the way, that is on the bingo card. Trump, where is it here? Drug prices down by an impossible percentage. Trump likes to say sometimes, we reduced drug prices by 800% or something like that. The Supreme Court justices are entering, who have been brutally attacked by Donald Trump recently. We will see what the interaction is with Trump there. Trump not very confrontational in person. So we will see what happens. Didn't look like all 9 were there, right? Did anybody get a look at that? I don't think all 9 justices are here, which is interesting to see. Roberto says, my cat loves David Pakman. You love to hear that. You really do. 500% discount. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on. Is that Alito behind Roberts? I can't even see. No. Oh, that is interesting. That is very, very interesting. Only 4 of them. That's fascinating. Well, probably a lot to make of that. Oh, they're not. They're never all there. That's right. But I thought all but 1 were usually there. People checking in from Europe, where it is 2 a.m., 3 a.m., depending on where you are. A very, very late night for our European viewers. I want to say thank you to Lee Runyon, Kurt Cameron, Jonathan Carlson, Lupe Solis, and Patrick Graham, who just signed up on my website, pushing us from 30 to 35. Look at that. Donald Trump has reportedly arrived at the Capitol and will be entering the chamber. Corinne says, any tips on how to live with hardcore Trump supporters who are not willing to change? And I mean absolutely not willing. Well, if they are merely roommates, I might look for a different place to live. If they are family, that's a more complicated scenario, that's for sure. SIBO says 7% interest on mortgage leveraged against 2 to 3% inflation plus income tax deduction on most likely appreciating asset seems plausible. Social Democrat, please no hate. No, SIBO, it just doesn't make sense. I'll do a deeper dive, but 50-year mortgage makes no sense. David, before the orange monster opens his mouth and his slurring words make our ears bleed, would you enchant us with a little bit of that glorious sounding Argentinian Spanish? You know, I do want to make a declaration. I will soon be making my triumphant and courageous return to my birth country of Argentina. And so reach out so first of all, if you are Argentinian or you've moved to Argentina, get in touch, info@davidpakman.com, because I may do a meetup while in Argentina. And then also, if you're in media in Argentina, if you're doing interesting business stuff, or like if there's any intersection with what you do and what I do, let's get together. I'm going to be there for a while, and it would, oh my goodness. I just got startled by the sudden appearance of Barron and Ivanka. I'm going to be there for a while. I'm going to have time to do different things. So get in touch. And by the way, I don't know how many people here watch Argentinian YouTubers, but there is an Argentinian YouTuber who does travel stuff. Oh, hold on. What's going on? Oh, it's Melania. Yeah, she has no business being anywhere near any of this stuff. There's an Argentinian YouTuber who goes by the name El Topo por el Mundo, who does really great travel stuff. And he's a buddy, and I encourage you to check him out. Interestingly, no greeting whatsoever between Melania and Ivanka. Reportedly, they hate each other. Ivanka trying seemingly to make on. Wait, is that even Ivanka or is that Tiffany? I can't even tell. Does Ivanka have a new face? That is Ivanka, right? Yeah. And then finally making eye contact there. Reportedly, they absolutely hate each other. Hate each other. In comes the cabinet. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, followed by a long string of deranged dilettantes and extremists. You see Scott Bessent second in line, the Treasury Secretary, a genuinely horrible person. I sat next to him at dinner in D.C. recently. He was at a table of like, oh God, not Bobby Kennedy Jr. By the way, I once had dinner with Bobby Kennedy Jr. It was bonkers. He ate a baked potato with his hands like it was a French fry. Bizarre stuff. This Bessent story. I was with a friend at dinner in D.C. recently. I walk in. Bessent is right adjacent to me at another table with like 12 bros. He didn't speak the entire time and seemed very depressed and left without me even noticing. He slipped out of the restaurant without noticing. Here is Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem. If if anyone's ever been in over their head, it's her. Next is Susie Wiles, the chief of staff to Donald Trump. Behind Susie is Lee Zeldin, the administrator of the EPA. And dignitaries and luminaries continue to enter the chamber. I want to say thank you. Oh my goodness, the membership dumps are just out of control.
And what happened?
Whoops.
Dumps, big, massive dumps.
I want to say thanks to Susan Jervey, Terry Johnson, Marissa Cantor, David Grant, Willie Chavaria, and Brendan Ribicki, putting us at 41 new members today. I appreciate every single person that is here. As Robert F. Kennedy Jr. enters, you see Scott Turner behind Bobby Kennedy Jr. You see Sean Duffy, the transportation secretary and former reality show contestant, behind Scott Turner. It is just, wow. There is Tulsi Gabbard, maybe the least qualified and most dangerous director of national intelligence. Don't know who this guy is. That's Kelly Loeffler, I think, behind this gentleman. I'm assuming he's a gentleman. I don't really know. But as I was saying, I appreciate every single person who's here. So many ways to support the independent media shows that you like these days. And again, if we get shut down, there is Howard Nutlick. If we get shut down, the only way I'll be able to get a hold of you is through Substack. So consider getting my free newsletter over on Substack. And we're live on Substack for an evening stream for the first time ever. Incredible. We were able to do it. Other super chats. Big Slim Jim says hello from Canada. Make governance boring again. Adam requests 3 Obamas for his MAGA mom. Oh, folks, we're about to do a conversion here.
Obama.
Adam's mom is no longer MAGA. Incredible. Meg says happy anniversary to my wife, Callie or Kaylee. Yes, happy birthday. Kash Patel heard a tip that Nancy Guthrie was spotted in the U.S. men's hockey locker room, and he went to go personally follow up. Exactly. Presumably, Timu Goebbels Miller is seated above the dais to operate the puppet strings. That is rough stuff. Lizzie says, I'm from Argentina living in the Bay Area. I watched Topo. He's really cool. Ask him to take you to Once neighborhood in Buenos Aires. Yeah, we're going to be all over the place in Buenos Aires. I actually should talk to Topo about doing something together. Maybe going to get pizza at El Cuartito, my favorite Argentinian pizza place. Maybe going to the restaurant of Jewish cuisine. Oh, hold on. What's the name of it? There's this great Jewish restaurant. Michigane in Buenos Aires. That's a great restaurant. Maybe we'll go there or do something like that. Have missed this. Will Chakaseki donate 30 Twitch subs? Oh, that is digging deep into the archive. I see Charles Wieland on Twitch. I see Nasty Questions, Pilot Dog, and The Trickster, Wookie Jack, and a lot of great people from the old days on Twitch. I don't yet see Chakaseki checking in, but I'm confident that he will at some point soon. Hey, address for bingo didn't work. Can you post the link? Okay, so the link for bingo, if you're watching on YouTube, is in the description of this stream. It's there right now. I'm going to do a test click. Let me do a test click right now. Bingo card. And it worked perfectly. So if you're watching on YouTube, the link is in the description. And you can also type it in, davidpakman.com/bingo. I should mention, if you misspell my last name, which many people do, the link will not work. You do have to spell my name correctly. Is it possible that's the problem? I don't know. Definitely something to think about. As is often the case with Donald Trump, he is late. He is running late, and this is very, very common with Trump. We never really get explanations, but he is running very late. Patman says, have you read Marx? Yes. What are your overall thoughts on Marxism? Interesting, but I am not a Marxist. I am not a socialist. I am a social democrat. Social democracy is a regulated form of capitalism, the likes of which we see in places like Denmark, Sweden, Norway, and Finland. I don't have any problem with markets directing resources in many areas, but I believe there are certain areas that markets should not direct resources. Those include education, healthcare, military. I don't think we should have a bunch of different private militaries. We should just have a government military. If you're interested in this, I've spoken about it sort of extensively when I was on the Patrick Bet-David show. Can we get an Uncharged Pickles soundbite? You know, that's not even on my soundboard anymore, I don't think. Oh, wait, I might have it.
No spaghetti, no ziti, no penne, no gnocchi, no pappardelle, no rotini.
No, that's not it. Hold on.
You couldn't find black beans. You couldn't find pinto beans. You couldn't find...
Damn it. No, I don't think I have it anymore. I don't think I've got it. I think those clips were they moved on. They moved on. How orange do I think Trump will be from 1 to 10? Oh, hold on. Let's listen.
President of the United States.
Okay, here we go.
Leadership is behind him.
So now you will see Donald Trump come in. That's Steve Scalise behind him. And you will see Trump glad hand with a bunch of different people. Wow. Trump's starting the night off with a little on his hair. Look at that. It is windblown Trump. I think if his appearance is like this at 9:07 Eastern, what is this guy going to look like after 3 hours of drivel? Dear God. Recently got my passport. Is Argentina worth a trip? I can think of no greater trip than visiting Argentina. I highly, highly encourage you to go. Happy birthday to my wife, Allison. She's a fan. I'm a fan. We're fans. Yes, happy birthday to Allison, of course. Look at Trump here. This has become a thing where everybody just tries to get photos with Trump as he walks by. It's all become pretty pathetic, I have to say. I find it all pretty deplorable because Trump is so vile in every way. But here he is working his way kind of down the aisle, saying hi to different people, shaking hands. That's in the red tie behind Trump. That's Senator John Thune. And then behind Trump's right shoulder with the white hair, Congressman Steve Scalise. Trump continuing to greet a lot of different people. Let's see if we can squeeze in a few more super chats here. Have you read The Expanse series by James S.A. Corey? I read the first one. To be honest, I don't know that it's for me. And I saw the first season of The Expanse and I read the first book. Matthew is letting me know that he appreciates my work. I appreciate you, Matthew. Thank you very much. Love your show. Watch as much as possible. Sign up now, folks, for David's authenticity. Please give my super chat to your favorite charity. Thank you very much, Winning Loser. There is Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy. Trump working his way down the aisle. You know, Trump's not looking like he's in a particular... Oh, hold on. Here's the greeting with the Supreme Court. All right. Cordial. Certainly not acting like he was just bashing them to high heaven relentlessly on Truth Social for the last 5 days. Kind of interesting, I guess. It is true. Trump is far less confrontational in person. Far less confrontational in person. And that seems to be borne out here for sure. John Fetterman getting a handshake. And here goes Trump. Now, momentarily, Donald Trump is going to be reintroduced, and then there will be more applause, nauseatingly. So if you're wondering what's going on, the clapping is sort of starting to die down because it should, but Trump isn't stepping up to the microphone. That is when the clapping really will die down, but Trump's kind of standing off to the side in this very strange way, clapping himself now. And the crowd doesn't know what to do. So you heard that it started to peter out, but then it started up because he's just standing to the side. It's time, sir. You're over 10 minutes late. Let's start the speech. Dear God.
Members of Congress, I have the high privilege and distinct honor of presenting to you the President of the United States.
All right. They're not really playing YMCA. They're not really playing YMCA. What they should be playing
Thank you very much, everybody. It's really an honor. Speaker Johnson, Vice President Vance, First Lady of the United States. Second Lady of the United States. Members of Congress and my fellow Americans, our nation is back, bigger, better, richer, and stronger than ever before.
He's slurring already. And that was a lie.
Less than 5 months from now, our country will celebrate an epic milestone in American history, the 250th anniversary of our glorious American independence. This July 4th, we will mark 2.5 centuries of liberty and triumph, progress and freedom in the most incredible and exceptional nation ever to exist on the face of the earth. And you've seen nothing yet. We're going to do better and better and better. This is the golden age of America. When I last spoke in this chamber 12 months ago, I had just inherited a nation in crisis with a stagnant economy, inflation at record levels, a wide open border, horrendous recruitment for military and police, rampant crime at home, and wars and chaos all over the world. But tonight, after just 1 year, I can say with dignity and pride that we have achieved a transformation like no one has ever seen before, and a turnaround for the ages. It is indeed a turnaround for the ages.
And once again, getting kicked out. There's a scuffle. That's, oh boy.
Just a very short time ago. We're not going back. Today, our border is secure.
Wow.
Thank you. Today, our border is secure. Our spirit is restored. Inflation is plummeting.
Oh my God, look at this.
Incomes are rising fast. The roaring economy is roaring like never before. And our enemies are scared. Our military and police are stacked. And America is respected again.
There it is.
Perhaps like never before.
Look at this bingo card. Folks, I'm going to win.
After 4 years in which millions and millions of illegal aliens poured across our borders, totally unvetted and unchecked, we now have the strongest and most secure border in American history by far. In the past 9 months, 0 illegal aliens have been admitted to the United States.
They may not have been admitted, but a bunch of them got in.
But we will always allow people to come in legally, people that will love our country and will work hard to maintain our country. The flow of deadly fentanyl across our border is down by a record 56% in 1 year. And last year, the murder rate saw its single largest decline in recorded history. This is the biggest decline, think of it, in recorded history, the lowest number in over 125 years, year 1900. In fact, substantially before my wonderful father, I had a wonderful father, Fred.
Whoa.
Before he was born, substantially before he was born. That's a long time ago. He wouldn't like me to say that, but that's a long time ago. The Biden administration and its allies in Congress gave us the worst inflation in the history of our country. But in 12 months, my administration has driven core inflation down to the lowest level in more than 5 years. And in the last 3 months of 2025, it was down to 1.7%. Gasoline, which reached a peak of over $6 a gallon in some states under my predecessor, it was quite honestly a disaster, is now below $2.30 a gallon in most states, and in some places, $1.99 a gallon. And when I visited the great state of Iowa just a few weeks ago, I even saw $1.85 a gallon for gasoline. Mortgage rates are the lowest in 4 years and falling fast, and the annual cost of a typical new mortgage is down almost $5,000 just since I took office. 1 year. And low interest rates will solve the Biden-created housing problem while at the same time protecting the values of those people who already own a house that really feel rich for the first time in their lives. We want to protect those values. We want to keep those values up. We're going to do both. And we are going to keep it that way. The stock market has set 53 all-time record highs since the election. Think of that, 1 year. Boosting pensions, 401ks, and retirement accounts for the millions and millions of Americans. They're all gaining. Everybody's up, way up. In 4 long years, the last administration got less than $1 trillion in new investment in the United States. And when I say less, substantially less. In 12 months, I secured commitments for more than $18 trillion pouring in from all over the globe.
Will he say Dow 50,000?
Think of it, much less than $1 trillion for 4 years versus much more than $18 trillion for 1 year. What a difference a president makes. A short time ago, we were a dead country. Now we are the hottest country anywhere in the world, the hottest.
This is truly pathetic stuff.
Thousands of new businesses are forming, and factories, plants, and laboratories are being built. We have added 70,000 new construction jobs in just a very short period of time. It's getting bigger and bigger and stronger. Nobody can believe what they're watching. American oil production is up by more than 600,000 barrels a day, and we just received from our new friend and partner, Venezuela, more than 80 million barrels of oil. American natural gas production is at an all-time high because I kept my promise to drill, baby, drill. More Americans are working today than at any time in the history of our country. Think about that. Any time in the history of our country, more working today. And 100% of all jobs created under my administration have been in the private sector. We ended DEI in America. We cut a record number of job-killing regulations, and in 1 year we have lifted 2.4 million Americans, a record, off of food stamps.
Kicking people off is not really lifting them.
And for all of these reasons, I say tonight, members of Congress, the state of our union is strong. Ladies and gentlemen.
They sure are clapping like trained seals, aren't they? Oh boy, RFK looks rough.
Our country is winning again. In fact, we're winning so much that we really don't know what to do about it. People are asking me, please, please, please.
Oh, he just shot a tonsil stone out. I should have had it on the bingo card. He just shot one.
We're not used to winning in our country. Until you came along, we're just always losing, but now we're winning too much. And I say, no, 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 you're going to win again. You're going to win big. You're going to win bigger than ever. And to prove that point, here with us tonight is a group of winners who just made the entire nation proud. The men's gold medal Olympic hockey team. Come on in.
The microphone can't even sustain what Trump is doing to it. He's brutalizing that microphone. By the way, this is a pretty pathetic, cynical display. If you're sitting at home going, he promised prices down and prices are up, does this cheer you up?
That's the first time I've ever seen them get up. And actually, not all of them did get up. But they beat a fantastic Canadian team in overtime, as everybody saw, as did the American women who will soon be coming to the White House.
It's not clear the women are going to go.
They were in the Oval Office before, and I just want to say a second very big congratulations to Team USA. But I have to say that, and I told them this, and we took a vote of the team. I said, anybody votes no, I'm not doing it. So they stood there, and they weren't about to say no, because I've never seen a goaltender play as well as goalie Connor Hellebuyck. Think of it, 46 shots on goal, and I asked him, the one shot, the one where you put your stick in the back and it hit the neck of your stick and bounced off, do you practice that, or was that a little lucky? He refused to answer that question. But I just want to tell you that the members of this great hockey squad will be very happy to hear, based on their vote and my vote, and in this case, my vote was more important, that I will soon be presenting Connor with our highest civilian honor, which we will be given, and which has been given to many athletes over the years. But when I say many, not too many, like 12, it's called the highest civilian honor in our country, the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
You know, I don't really have a problem with that per se. But also, like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not too sure.
Great athletes have gotten that, very great, the best, and I thought he deserved it. And I did take a vote, every single one of them. I said, I'm not giving it if anybody goes no, and every single one of them rapidly put up their hand. So I want to thank you. What a special job you did. What special champions you are. Thank you very much.
This is all feeling a little vapid and vacant to me. I don't know about anybody else, but the emotional salience is kind of missing.
I'm also pleased to say that the next time the Olympic torch is lit, it will be here in America for the 2028 Olympics, and it's the summer version right in Los Angeles. We're going to do a good job in Los Angeles.
Does he attack new scum now?
And Los Angeles is going to be safe, just like Washington, D.C. is now one of the safest cities in the country. And this year, and I must say I got them both. I got them in my first term, and I was disappointed because I didn't think I'd be the president when this happened. But strange things took place, and now I've got them because I got the Olympics and I got the 2026 FIFA World Cup, and I wanted to claim the 250th, but I didn't get away with that one. I couldn't claim that one for myself. But we're getting the World Cup, so we have the World Cup and the Olympics coming, and that is exciting news.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this will be a year to celebrate our country and the heroes who have kept it free. Men like Buddy Taggart. At age 17, Buddy volunteered to defend America in World War II, serving in the Pacific under the great General Douglas MacArthur. He fought bravely in the famous Battle of Manila, worked so hard. He was badly wounded and almost killed by enemy machine guns in Luzon. And 81 years ago this month, he liberated the largest internment camp in the Philippines, one of the largest anywhere in the world. But he earned many honors, including a Purple Heart and a Bronze Star, came home, started a family, and tonight he is in the gallery looking forward to July 4th, 2026, his 100th birthday.
This is some risky pronunciation on Trump's behalf. There seems to have been some confusion there about who Trump was referring to. That was pretty interesting. The guy shook it off when Melania turned to him, and I think the guy was like, it's not me.
Salute you. Even in times of challenge, setback, and immense heartache, the spirit of 1776 has always shone through very brightly. It was July 4th of last year when floodwaters tore through a girls' summer camp in Central Texas, one of the worst things I've ever seen. I was there, rising 26 feet in the matter of minutes, tragically claiming many, many lives. You all remember that one. As the waters threatened to sweep her away, 11-year-old Millie Kate McClelland closed her eyes and prayed to God. She thought she was going to die. Those prayers were answered when Coast Guard rescue swimmer Scott Ruskin descended from a helicopter above. Nobody knew where he came from. It was Scott's first ever rescue mission, a young guy, but very brave, very, very top, always top in his class. And he lifted not just Millie Kate, but 164 others to safety. People watched Scott from a distance, and they couldn't believe what they were seeing. The winds were blowing, the rain was pouring, everything was going, and that rapid water, nobody's ever seen anything like it. They said, wow, that's something. Tonight, Scott and Millie Kate are here together, reunited for the very first time. Thank you, Scott, Millie Kate. And Petty Officer Ruskin, I'm pleased to inform you that I am now awarding you the Legion of Merit for extraordinary heroism, which is what it was, extraordinary heroism. Thank you.
I don't necessarily have a problem with a lot of the individual things that are happening here, but the entire thing, it's just like Trump doesn't give a shit about any of this. Trump is trying to stage manage getting out of a desperately bad political situation.
Thank you very much. From 1776 to today, every generation of Americans has stepped forward to defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And they're really doing it for the next generation. But now it's our turn. Together, we're building a nation where every child has the chance to reach higher and go further, where government answers to the people, not the powerful, and where the interests of hardworking American citizens are always our first and ultimate concern. That is the debt we owe to the heroes who came before us, and that is the promise we must keep to America for our 250th year. Last year, I urged this Congress to begin the mission by passing the largest tax cuts in American history, and our Republican majorities delivered so beautifully. Thank you, Republicans.
Okay.
All Democrats, every single one of them, voted against these really important and very necessary massive tax cuts. They wanted large-scale tax increases to hurt the people instead. But we held strong, and with the great, big, beautiful bill, we gave you no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors.
No tax on Social Security is not in that bill, but it doesn't stop Trump from saying it.
And we also made interest on auto loans tax deductible the first time, but only if the car is made in America. Recently in Pennsylvania, I met Megan Hemhauser, a devoted mom who's homeschools her children, beautiful, 2 children, during the day while waiting tables at night as her husband works overtime operating very heavy equipment. Megan is here this evening, and she's happy to tell you that she is so much richer because with no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and our expanded child tax credit done again by Republicans, Megan and her husband will take home more than $5,000 extra just for the year, cutting her tax bill in more than half. Megan, please stand up. We're fighting for you, Megan.
It's kind of weird to be like, what did she do? I don't really understand it. I mean, everybody has a story about how they're working for their family, but like, she's a recipient of a tax cut, so people clap, or are they clapping for the tax cut?
Their children's brand new Trump accounts, and I didn't name it. I did not name that. Nobody believes me, but I did not name it. It was named by a very tall man sitting right there in the third row. Nice man, a good man. Tax-free investment accounts for every American child. This is something that's so special and has taken off and gone through the roof. Millions will be pre-funded courtesy of the U.S. Treasury and private individuals like Michael and Susan Dell, who have donated $6.25 billion to fund the Trump accounts for 25 million American children.
MAGA Mike Johnson is just in love.
Great people. When I asked Michael Dell, how do you make all that money? He said, Well, I just sat on my dorm in school, and I made computers, and I'd sell them to people. And I just kept selling and selling and selling, and pretty amazing story. That's called the American Dream. He sold a lot of computers.
I sat on my dorm and I made computers.
As well as others like Brad Gerstner, a very tremendous guy. He was behind it right from the beginning. Brad Gerstner. Thank you, Brad.
This is tough to watch.
So with modest additional contributions, these young people's accounts could grow to over $100,000 or more by the time they turn 18. Think of it, how much money is that for somebody that started with nothing? Over 100,000, could be much more than that. To make this investment in our children's future, go to TrumpAccounts.gov, TrumpAccounts.gov. And a lot of people are doing it. It's setting every record in the book. It's popular. They knew what it was going to take. I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of
Trump's such a liar. You can't actually do anything. TrumpAccounts.gov tells you that the program starts in, I think it's July. Tons of people are doing it.
History where the Dow Jones broke 50,000 4 years ahead of schedule, and the S&P hit 7,000, where it wasn't supposed to do it for many years, were tariffs. I used these tariffs, took in hundreds of billions of dollars to make great deals for our country, both economically and on a national security basis. Everything was working well. Countries that were ripping us off for decades are now paying us hundreds of billions of dollars. They were ripping us so badly, you all know that. Everybody knows it. Even the Democrats know it. They just don't want to say it. And yet these countries are now happy, and so are we. We made deals. The deals are all done. And they're happy. They're not making money like they used to, but we're making a lot of money. There was no inflation, tremendous growth. And the big story was how Donald Trump called the economy correctly, and 22 Nobel Prize winners in economics didn't. They got it totally wrong. They got it really wrong. And then just 4 days ago, an unfortunate ruling from the United States Supreme Court. It just came down. It came down. Very unfortunate ruling. But the good news is that almost all countries and corporations want to keep the deal that they already made, right, Scott? Knowing that the legal power that I, as president, have to make a new deal could be far worse for them, and therefore they will continue to work along the same successful path that we had negotiated before the Supreme Court's unfortunate involvement. So despite the disappointing ruling, these powerful, country-saving, it's saving our country, the kind of money we're taking in, peace-protecting. Many of the wars I settled was because of the threat of tariffs. I wouldn't have been able to settle them without. Will remain in place under fully approved and tested alternative legal statutes. And they have been tested for a long time. They're a little more complex, but they're actually probably better, leading to a solution that will be even stronger than before. Congressional action will not be necessary. It's already time-tested and approved. And as time goes by, I believe the tariffs paid for by foreign countries will, like in the past, substantially replace the modern-day system of income tax.
That will never happen, and the tariffs are paid by Americans.
People that I love. Right? Moving forward, factories, jobs, investment, and trillions of dollars will continue pouring into the United States of America because we finally have a president who puts America first. I put America first. I love America. Obama. For decades before I came along, we had the exact opposite. From trade to healthcare, from energy to immigration, everything was stolen and rigged in order to drain the wealth out of the productive, hardworking people who make our country great, who make our country run. Under Biden and his corrupt partners in Congress and beyond, it reached a breaking point with the Green New scam, open borders for everyone. They poured in by the millions and millions from prisons, from mental institutions. They were murderers, 11,888 murders. They came into our country. You allowed that to happen. And record-setting inflation that cost the typical family $34,000 in just a speck of time. Now the same people in this chamber who voted for those disasters suddenly use the word affordability, a word they just used it. Somebody gave it to them, knowing full well that they caused and created the increased prices that all of our citizens had to endure. You caused that problem. You caused that problem.
Uh-huh.
They knew their statements were a lie. They knew it. They knew their statements were a dirty, rotten lie. Their policies created the high prices. Our policies are rapidly ending them. We are doing really well. Those prices are plummeting downward. The price of eggs is down 60%, Madam Secretary, thank you. The cost of chicken, butter, fruit, hotels, automobiles, rent is lower today than when I took office by a lot.
None of that is true.
Beef, which was very high, is starting to come down significantly. Just hold on a little while. We're getting it down.
That was a glitch.
Soon you will see numbers that few people would think were possible to achieve just a short time ago. Nobody can believe when they see the kind of numbers, and especially energy, when they see energy.
He's actually glitching a lot. I think it's getting bad.
Believe it. It's like another big tax cut. I'm also confronting one of the biggest ripoffs of our times, the crushing costs of health care caused by you. Since the passage of the Unaffordable Care Act, sometimes referred to as Obamacare, big insurance companies have gotten rich. It was meant for the insurance companies, not for the people. With our government giving them hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars a year as their stock prices soared 1,000, 1,200, 1,400, and even 1,700%, like nothing else. That's why I introduced the great health care plan. I want to stop all payments to big insurance companies and instead give that money directly to the people so they can buy their own health care, which will be better health care at a much lower cost. In addition, my plan requires maximum price transparency. That's a big deal. Sounds so simple, so big. And I did that in my first term, and the Democrats immediately terminated it with full knowledge that they were doing a very bad thing for the people. Costs were going to go way up, and that's what happened, and now I'm bringing them way down on health care and everything else. I'm also ending the wildly inflated cost of prescription drugs like has never happened before. Other presidents tried to do it, but they never could. They tried. Most didn't try, actually. But they tried. They said they tried. They couldn't do it. They didn't even come close. They were all talk and no action, but I got it done. Under my just enacted most favored nation agreements, Americans who have for decades paid by far the highest prices of any nation anywhere in the world for prescription drugs will now pay the lowest price anywhere in the world for drugs. Anywhere, the lowest price. So in my first year of the second term. Should be my third term, but strange things happen. I took prescription drugs, a very big part of healthcare, from the highest price in the entire world to the lowest. That's a big achievement. The result is price differences of 300, 400, 500, 600% and more, all available right now at a new website called TrumpRx.gov. And I didn't name that one either, by the way. And here tonight is the very first customer ever to get that big discount, and it is big, Catherine Rayner. For 5 years, she and her husband have struggled with infertility, and they turned to IVF. One drug has been costing Catherine $4,000 to purchase, but a few weeks ago, she logged onto the Trump RX website and got that same drug that cost $4,000, got it for under $500. A reduction of much more, actually, than $3,500. Catherine, we are all praying for you, and you're going to be a great mom. So now I'm calling on Congress to codify my most favored nation program into law. Now, the one thing, I'm not sure it matters because it's going to be very hard for somebody that comes along after me to say, let's raise drug prices by 700 or 800%. But John and Mike, if you don't mind, codify it anyway. They may do it. Codify it anyway. Thank you. Many Americans are also concerned that energy demand from AI data centers could unfairly drive up their electric utility bills. Tonight, I'm pleased to announce that I have negotiated the new Ratepayer Protection Pledge. You know what that is? We're telling the major tech companies that they have the obligation to provide for their own power needs. They can build their own power plants as part of their...
That's the RPP, Rate Power Protection.
...go up, and in many cases, prices of electricity will go down for the community, and very substantially down. This is a unique strategy never used in this country before. We have an old grid. It could never handle the kind of numbers, the amount of electricity that's needed. So I'm telling them they can build their own plant. They're going to produce their own electricity. It will ensure the company's ability to get electricity while at the same time lowering prices of electricity for you, and could be very substantial for all of you cities and towns. You're going to see some good things happen over the next number of years. Another pillar of the American dream that has been under attack is homeownership.
Oh, no.
With us tonight is Rachel Wiggins, a mom of two from Houston. She placed bids on 20 homes and lost all of those bids to gigantic investment firms that bypassed inspection, paid all cash, and turned those houses into rentals, stealing away her American dream. She was devastated. Stories like this are why last month I signed executive order to ban large Wall Street investment firms from buying up in the thousands single-family homes. And now I'm asking Congress to make that ban permanent, because homes for people, really, that's what we want. We want homes for people, not for corporations. Corporations are doing just fine. Racel, thank you very much. Good luck with your home. You'll get one soon. We're also working to make it easier for Americans to save for retirement. And under this administration, we will always protect Social Security and Medicare. They are not protecting it for our seniors. We will always protect Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. Since I took office, the typical 401k balance is up by at least $30,000. That's a lot of money. We have millions and millions of people, because the stock market has done so well, setting all those records. Your 401ks are way up. Yet half of all of working Americans still do not have access to a retirement plan with matching contributions from an employer. To remedy this gross disparity, I'm announcing that next year my administration will give these oft-forgotten American workers, great people, the people that built our country, access to the same type of retirement plan offered to every federal worker. We will match your contribution with up to $1,000 each year, as we ensure that all Americans can profit from a rising stock market. Let's also ensure that members of Congress cannot corruptly profit from using insider information.
That I like.
They stood up for that. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Did Nancy Pelosi stand up if she's here? Doubt it. Pass the Stop Insider Trading Act without delay.
What's the point of that small, kind of unenthused clap? I don't know.
Impressed, thank you. I'm very impressed. But when it comes to the corruption that is plundering, it's plundering America. There's been no more stunning example than Minnesota, where members of the Somali community have pillaged an estimated $19 billion from the American taxpayer. Oh, we have all the information. And in actuality, the number is much higher than that. And California, Massachusetts, Maine, and many other states are even worse. This is the kind of corruption that shreds the fabric of a nation, and we are working on it like you wouldn't believe. So tonight, although started 4 months ago, I am officially announcing the war on fraud to be led by our great Vice President, J.D. Vance.
That is a war we are likely to lose. Totally off topic, but it looks like JD's shirt is tucked directly into his belt.
Done. And if we're able to find enough of that fraud, we will actually have a balanced budget overnight. It'll go very quickly. That's the kind of money you're talking about. We'll balance our budget.
Remember, Trump promised that that would be the case by the end of his first year of his first term.
There are large parts of the world where bribery, corruption, and lawlessness are the norm, not the exception. Importing these cultures through unrestricted immigration and open borders brings those problems right here to the USA. And it is the American people who pay the price in higher medical bills, car insurance rates, rent, taxes, and perhaps most importantly, crime. We will take care of this problem. We're going to take care of this problem. We are not playing games. Delilah. Delilah Colvin was only 5 years old in June 2024 when a 18-wheel tractor trailer plowed into her stopped car traveling at 60 miles an hour or more. The driver was an illegal alien let in by Joe Biden and given a commercial driver's license.
I almost had this on the bingo card, but I didn't include it.
In California, doctors said Delilah would never be able to walk or talk, have a good life. She wouldn't even be able to eat again. But against all odds, she is now in the first grade learning to walk. And she's here this evening with her dad, Marcus, a fantastic man. Delilah, please, you are a great inspiration. Please stand up. Thank you, Delilah. Many, if not most, illegal aliens do not speak English and cannot read.
It's, of course, a sad and inspiring story. It just has nothing to do with anything Trump has done or policy.
That's why tonight I'm calling on Congress to pass what we will call the Delilah Law, barring any state from granting commercial driver's licenses to illegal aliens. And yesterday, as you probably saw at the White House, I hosted a ceremony with Americans who lost their treasured loved ones to the scourge of illegal immigration. People came into our country, how we allowed this to happen with our open borders. These are the angel moms and families that for decades our government betrayed and our media totally ignored. It was terrible. Hard to believe, actually. In 2023, a 16-year-old high school cheerleader named Elizabeth Medina was supposed to perform in her town's Christmas parade, but she never arrived. Her mother, Jacqueline, went home to look for her, and she found her lying dead in a bathtub, bleeding profusely after being stabbed 25 times. Elizabeth's killer was a previously arrested illegal alien who had broken in and brutally extinguished the brightest light in her family's life, violently and viciously. Her heartbroken mother is in the gallery to remind everyone in this chamber exactly why we are deporting illegal alien criminals to our country at record numbers, and we're getting them the hell out of here fast. We don't want them.
You may or may not notice that the glitches and slurring are becoming more and more frequent. If this does go 3 hours, I don't know how he's going to do it.
Thank you very much, Jacqueline. Thank you. We can never forget that many in this room not only allowed the border invasion to happen before I got involved, but indeed they would do it all over again if they ever had the chance. If they ever got elected, they would open up those borders to some of the worst criminals anywhere in the world. The only thing standing between Americans and a wide open border right now is President Donald J. Trump and our great Republican patriots in Congress. Thank you. Thank you. As we speak, Democrats in this chamber have cut off all funding for the Department of Homeland Security. It's all cut off. It's all cut off. They have instituted another Democrat shutdown, the first one costing us 2 points on GDP. 2 points we lost on GDP, which probably made them quite happy, actually. Now they have closed the agency responsible for protecting Americans from terrorists and murderers. Tonight I'm demanding the full and immediate restoration of all funding for the border security, Homeland Security of the United States, and also for helping people clean up their snow. We have no money because of the Democrats, and it would be nice, we'd love to give you a hand at cleaning it up, but you gave no money. Nobody's getting paid. It's a shame. So you have to think about it. We have, in case you didn't know, a pretty large snowstorm out there. One of the great things about the State of the Union is how it gives Americans the chance to see clearly what their representatives really believe. So tonight I'm inviting every legislator to join with my administration in reaffirming a fundamental principle. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
Dear God. Completely performative, completely deranged. Well, this is like really, really pathetic.
Isn't that a shame? You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself. That is why I'm also asking you to end deadly sanctuary cities that protect the criminals and enact serious penalties for public officials who block the removal of criminal aliens. In many cases, drug lords, murderers all over our country, they're blocking the removal of these people out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
I got to tell you, I'm not big on the just screaming at Trump. Like I'm not huge on it. And there's really no bigger critic of Trump than me.
Most importantly, I'm asking you to approve the Save America Act. To stop illegal aliens and others who are unpermitted persons from voting in our sacred American elections. That cheating is rampant in our elections. It's rampant. It's very simple. All voters must show voter ID. All voters must show proof of citizenship in order to vote. And no more crooked mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military, or travel. None. And this should be an easy one. And by the way, it's polling at 89%, including Democrats. 89%. And even the new communist mayor of New York City, I think he's a nice guy, actually. Speak to him a lot. Bad policy, but nice guy. Just said they want people to shovel snow. They got hit hard. Wants them to shovel snow, but if you apply for that job, you need to show 2 original forms of ID and a Social Security card. Yet they don't want identification for the greatest privilege of them all, voting in America. No, it's no good. No good. Both Republicans and Democrats overwhelmingly agree on the policy that we just enunciated. And Congress should unite and enact this common sense, country-saving legislation right now, and it should be before anything else happens. And the reason they don't want to do it, why would anybody not want voter ID? One reason, because they want to cheat. There's only one reason. They make up all excuses. They say it's racist. They come up with things you almost say, what imagination they have. They want to cheat. They have cheated. And their policy is so bad that the only way they can get elected is to cheat. And we're going to stop it. We have to stop it, John. And here is one more opportunity to show common sense in government. In the gallery tonight are Sage Blair and her mother, Michelle. In 2021, Sage was 14 when school officials in Virginia sought to socially transition her to a new gender, treating her as a boy and hiding it from her parents. Hard to believe, isn't it? Before long, a confused Sage ran away from home after she was found in a horrific situation in Maryland. A left-wing judge refused to return Sage to her parents because they did not immediately state that their daughter was their son. Sage was thrown into an all-boys state home and suffered terribly for a long time. But today, all of that is behind them because Sage is a proud and wonderful young woman with a full-ride scholarship to Liberty University. Sage and Michelle, please stand up.
A horrible, horrible place, unfortunately, Liberty University. By the way, who are these two guys with the earpieces and the pins? They look like security, but they're like kind of participating in the standing. It's weird.
And thank you for your great bravery. And who can believe that we're even speaking about things like this? 15 years ago, if somebody was up here and said that, they'd say, what's wrong with him? But now we have to say it because it's going on all over numerous states without even telling the parents. But surely we can all agree no state can be allowed to rip children from their parents' arms and transition them to a new gender against the parents' will. Who would believe that we're even talking about this? We must ban it, and we must ban it immediately. Look, nobody stands up. These people are crazy, I'm telling you. They're crazy.
Is that on the card?
Amazing. Gentlemen.
Oh, we
Boy,
do
oh
get
boy. We're lucky we have a country. With people like this, Democrats are destroying our country, but we've stopped it just in the nick of time, didn't we? No one cares more about protecting America's youth than our wonderful First Lady. Now a movie star. She's a movie star. Can you believe it?
Failed documentary.
Who would have believed that? Over the past year, she has had an incredible impact championing AI legislation, advancing a landmark executive order on foster care.
Yeah, she's working on legislation.
$1 billion to launch the Melania Trump Foster Youth to Independence Initiative. It's a tremendous, really a tremendous thing that happened and had a lot of bipartisan support. She gets much better bipartisan support than I do. I get none. She gets a lot. Someday you're going to have to tell me how you did that. And students and educators in every state have joined the First Lady's efforts in the presidential AI challenge, keeping America's next generation positioned to succeed and strongly succeed in the future. Tonight, we welcome two young people whose lives reflect the First Lady's impact, Sierra Burns and Everest Nevermont. Thank you both, and Melania, thank you. I know how hard you worked on it. Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right. Is Barron okay?
I'm very proud to say that during my time in office, both the first 4 years and in particular this last year, there has been a tremendous renewal in religion, faith, Christianity, and belief in God. Tremendous renewal. This is especially true among young people, and a big part of that had to do with my great friend, Charlie Kirk, a great guy, great man.
I actually hadn't noticed that grieving widow Erica Kirk was there.
And martyred, really martyred for his beliefs. His wonderful wife, Erica, is with us tonight. Erica, please stand.
She stood up a while ago.
Thank you, Erica. Been through a lot. In Charlie's memory, we must all come together to reaffirm that America is one nation under God, and we must totally reject political violence of any kind.
Of any kind? That's not what he said before.
We love religion, and we love bringing it back, and it's coming back at levels that nobody actually thought possible. It's really a beautiful thing to see. Above all, unleashing America's promise requires keeping our communities safe. We have made incredible strides, yet dangerous repeat offenders continue to be released by pro-crime Democrat politicians again and again. We are honored to be joined tonight by a woman who's been through hell, Anya Zarutska. In 2022, she and her beautiful daughter, so beautiful, what a beautiful young woman, Irina, fled war-torn Ukraine to live with relatives near Charlotte, North Carolina. And by the way, what's going on with Charlotte? Last summer, 23-year-old Irina was riding home on the train when a deranged monster who had been arrested over a dozen times and was released through no cash bail, stood up and viciously slashed a knife through her neck and body. No one will ever forget. There were people on that train. No one will ever forget the expression of terror on Irina's face as she looked up at her attacker in the last seconds of her life. She died instantly. She had escaped a brutal war only to be slain by a hardened criminal set free to kill in America, came in through open borders. Mrs. Zarutska, tonight I promise you we will ensure justice for your magnificent daughter, Irina. How do you not stand? How do you not stand? I'm asking this Congress to pass tough legislation to ensure that violent and dangerous repeat offenders are put behind bars, and importantly, that they stay there. Starting last summer, I deployed our National Guard and federal law enforcement to restore law and order to our most dangerous cities, including Memphis, Tennessee, big success, New Orleans, Louisiana, big success, and our nation's capital itself, Washington, D.C., where we have almost no crime anymore in Washington, D.C. How did that happen? In fact, crime in Washington is now at the lowest level ever recorded, and murders in D.C. this January were down close to 100% from a year ago. They don't like to hear that. One of the sick people, one of the brave service members who helped achieve this stunning turnaround was 20-year-old West Virginia Army National Guard Specialist Sarah Beckstrom. After a 4-month deployment, she voluntarily extended her service, and her rank was going to be lifted. She was doing so well. They were so proud of her. But the very next day, she was on patrol near the White House when she was ambushed and shot in the head by a terrorist monster from Afghanistan. Shouldn't have been in our country. And all because she wore the uniform of our nation, she was shot. He traveled here because he didn't like people wearing our uniform. He was sick and deranged, shouldn't have been in our country. Sarah Beckstrom died in order to defend our capital, and we are honored to be joined by her wonderful parents, Gary and Evalie. Your daughter was a true American patriot, and she will be greatly missed. She was a great person. I saw reports on her. They've never seen anything like her.
You know, there is a counterpoint, which is these grieving parents could be furious with Trump for the completely harebrained circumstances in which their daughter was killed to begin with.
So sorry. Thank you very much. A great young lady. I saw reports that were like, perfect. She was perfect. Serving alongside Sarah that day was Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf. The terrorist shot Andrew in the head, and no one thought he could possibly make it. The two of them, Sarah and Andrew, both shot violently in the head. Neither was expected to make it. They weren't even given a chance, except his wonderful mother, named Melody, who I spoke to the same night, and she was so positive. The doctors thought that Andrew was gone, but his mother said, no, Mr. President, Andrew will be fine. He's going to make it. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, he was given almost no chance. She said, I have no doubt, sir, he's going to be okay. This was a conversation that I had with her that night, with her son laying helplessly in bed, blood all over. Everybody is...
Trump loves the lurid details.
Be okay. The doctors didn't understand what she was saying. And after looking at the results of the damage done, neither did I. She was so strong and conclusive that even Andrew's great father felt she didn't really understand the gravity of the situation. But she turned out to be right. Right, Melody? She turned out to be right. Amazing, actually. I said, where does this woman come from? She's the most positive person I've ever met. With God's help, Andrew has battled back from the edge of death, and we're talking about the edge of death, on his way to a miraculous recovery. He's got a little work to do, but he's doing great. Nice to see you. He's a good-looking guy. Nice to see you. Thanks, Andrew. Thank you very much. So, Andrew, while you're up, now I'm going to ask a highly respected General James Seward to present Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf and the great family of Sarah Beckstrom with the award created by our late, great President George Washington himself. It's called the Purple Heart. We love you all. Love you. We're proudly restoring safety for Americans at home, and we are also restoring security for Americans abroad. Our country has never been stronger. My first 10 months, I ended 8 wars, including Cambodia. Isn't it funny? Sick people. Cambodia and Thailand, Pakistan and India. Would have been a nuclear war. 35 million people said the Prime Minister of Pakistan would have died if it were not for my involvement. Kosovo and Serbia, Israel and Iran, Egypt and Ethiopia, Armenia and Azerbaijan, the Congo and Rwanda, and of course the war in Gaza, which proceeds at a very low level. It's just about there. And I want to thank Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner for your help. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Jared. And I also want to thank the man they report to, Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Thank you, Marco. People don't like you. You know, Marco got 100% of the votes when he was in confirmation. I think our next one was about 54%. And some of the Democrats are now saying, I can't believe we approved that guy. And he said it's an honor that they feel that way, right, Marco? You have done a great job, great Secretary of State. I think he'll go down as the best ever.
Sounds like a stretch.
Under the ceasefire I negotiated, every single hostage, both living and dead, has been returned home. Can you believe that? Nobody thought it was possible. Nobody thought that was possible. Both living and dead. And those parents who had a dead son, their boy, they'd always tell me their boy, they wanted him as much as though he were living. That was an amazing period of time. And they came back, and when we got all of the living hostages back, and many, many before them, but I always said those last 20 are going to be very tough, but we got many, many more, hundreds. But I said those last 20 are going to be tough. We got them back. But we only got back 14 or 15 of the dead of the 28. And believe it or not, Hamas worked along with Israel, and they dug and they dug and they dug. It's a tough thing to do, going through bodies all over, passing up 100 bodies sometimes for each one that they found. Tough job. And they finally got it back to 27. And then Steve and Jared, they got it back to 28. They found all 28. Nobody thought that was possible, but we did it. And I remember the family of the 28th. They were so grieved, but they were so happy as it's possible to be. They had their boy back. The mother said, "Sir, we have our boy back." What a period of time that was, but we got them all back. So thank you both very much. Great job. Sir, your life is up in the air.
Very strange way to retell these stories. Very, very weird way to present these things.
Hard to end the ninth war, the killing and slaughter between Russia and Ukraine, where 25,000 soldiers are dying each and every month. Think of that, 25,000 soldiers are dying a month. A war which would have never happened if I were president. Would have never happened. As president, I will make peace wherever I can, but I will never hesitate to confront threats to America wherever we must. That's why in a breakthrough operation last June, The United States military obliterated Iran's nuclear weapons program with an attack on Iranian soil.
Except it's now back, so we might have to bomb him again just months later.
For decades, it had been the policy of the United States never to allow Iran to obtain a nuclear weapon. Many decades. Since they seized control of that proud nation 47 years ago, the regime and its murderous proxies have spread nothing but terrorism and death and hate. They've killed and maimed thousands of American service members and hundreds of thousands and even millions of people with what's called roadside bombs. They were the kings of the roadside bomb. And we took out Soleimani. I did that during my first term. Had a huge impact. He was the father of the roadside bomb.
This is really beyond parody.
Last couple of months with the protests, they've killed at least, it looks like 32,000 protests. 32,000 protesters in their own country. They shot them and hung them. We stopped them from hanging a lot of them with the threat of serious violence. But this is some terrible people. They've already developed missiles that can threaten Europe and our bases overseas, and they're working to build missiles that will soon reach the United States of America. After Midnight Hammer, they were warned to make no future attempts to rebuild their weapons program, and in particular, nuclear weapons. Yet they continue. They're starting it all over. We wiped it out, and they want to start all over again, and are at this moment again pursuing their sinister ambitions. We are in negotiations with them. They want to make a deal, but we haven't heard those secret words. We will never have a nuclear weapon. My preference is to solve this problem through diplomacy. But one thing is certain, I will never allow the world's #1 sponsor of terror, which they are by far, to have a nuclear weapon. Can't let that happen. And no nation should ever doubt America's resolve. We have the most powerful military on earth. I rebuilt the military in my first term. We're going to continue to do so. Also, we just approved a $1 trillion budget. We have no choice. We have to be strong because hopefully we will seldom have to use this great power that we built together. It's really called Peace Through Strength, and it's been very, very effective. So thanks to Republicans in Congress, we're investing that record number of dollars, have no choice, in the United States Armed Forces. Also creating a lot of jobs, but we're not even doing it for that reason. Because as I said, we have more
Trump losing his voice and losing his energy.
Before in the history of our country. And NATO countries are friends and allies. They are. They're our friends and they're our allies, have just agreed at my very strong request to pay 5% of GDP for military defense rather than the 2%, which they weren't paying. We were paying for almost all of NATO. Now they're paying 5 as opposed to not paying 4. And getting that 5% was something which everyone said would never be done, could not happen. We got it really easily with one meeting. And big difference between 2% that's not paid. We were paying the freight of many of them. Very few were paid up. now 5% than they're paid. And everything we send over to Ukraine is sent through NATO, and they pay us in full. They pay us totally in full. Every branch of our armed forces is setting records for recruitment. This is so exciting. And every service member recently. And every service member recently received a warrior dividend of $1,776.
Look at the expression on J.D. Vance's face. Dear God.
You know, they put it on my desk. We got the money from tariffs and other things, a lot of money we have. We have much more money than people understand. Have to rebuild that program a little bit, but it won't take long. But we got the money, and it was $1,775, and they wanted my approval. And I said, what's the number? $1,775. I said, wait a minute, for $1 more, we can have $1,776. It's going to... I said, we're going to figure that. I never asked anybody if we could afford it. $1 more, I said $1,776. And I said, that's good. And I'll tell you what, our military, that was 4 months ago, our military, I never see a person in the military that doesn't thank me for it, so we're honored to do it. They deserve it. And we call it 1776. It was great. And we love our military. We love our law enforcement.
Right.
We love our firemen. You know, the firemen don't get mentioned enough. We love our firemen.
Yeah, you got to mention them. It really is like listening to someone with I hate to say it, but it is like dementia. I mean, it's very strange. Anyone know why Trump's eyes are almost completely swollen shut?
And dominance in the Western Hemisphere, acting to secure our national interests and defend our country from violence, drugs, terrorism, and foreign interference. For years, large swaths of territory in our region, including large parts of Mexico, really large parts of Mexico, have been controlled by murderous drug cartels. That's why I designated these cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, and I declared illicit fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction.
Wow. Really makes you think. About jumping out of a window as you hear this guy talk.
Campaign, we have stopped record amounts of drugs coming into our country and virtually stopped it completely coming in by water or sea. You probably noticed that. We very seriously damaged their fishing industry also. Nobody wants to go fishing anymore. We've also taken down one of the most sinister cartel kingpins of all. You saw that yesterday. In January, elite American warriors carried out one of the most complex, spectacular feats of military competence and power in world history. No one's seen anything like it. Foreign leaders, I won't tell you who, called me and they said, very impressive, very impressive. They couldn't believe, they all watched, they saw what happened. This is a different fighting force that we had years ago when we fought to tie. You know, it's a great fighting force. I'm so proud of it.
Yeah.
Look at Space Force. Space Force is my baby, because we did that. My baby is becoming so important.
The United States will be the first nation to land an
Look at these two. Oh my goodness. You can tell they all really want to be there.
His armed forces overwhelmed all defenses and utterly defeated an enemy, good fighters, to end the reign of outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro and bring him to face American justice. And this was an absolutely colossal victory for the security of the United States, and it also opens up a bright new beginning for the people of Venezuela. We're working closely with the new president of Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez, to unleash extraordinary economic gains for both of our countries and to bring new hope to those who have suffered so terribly. They really did suffer. With us tonight is Alejandro Gonzalez. She grew up in a tight-knit Venezuelan family and was especially close to her beloved uncle Enrique. But after Enrique ran for office and opposed Maduro, he was kidnapped by Maduro's security. America Grande otra vez. Really infamous prison in Caracas. Alejandro feared she would never see her uncle again. She feared for her own life also. But since the raid, we have worked with the new leadership, and they have ordered the closure of that vile prison and released hundreds of political prisoners already, with more to come. Alejandro, I'm pleased to inform you that not only has your uncle been released, but he is here tonight. We brought him over to celebrate his freedom with you in person. Enrique, please come down.
What this has to do with policy or State of the Union, I couldn't tell you.
Thank you, Enrique. Have a good time. Nice to have you back, Enrique. There were many heroes on that January raid to capture Maduro. Really great heroes. It was very dangerous. They knew we were coming. They were all set. But the deeds of one warrior that night will live forever in the eternal chronicles of military valor. Chief Warrant Officer 5, Eric Slover, planned the mission and was the flight lead in the cockpit of the first helicopter. A big, beautiful, powerful helicopter. It was a massive Chinook carrying, as you can imagine, many, many American warfighters. Wearing the dog tags, his wife Amy had blessed with holy water before he left. She knew it was going to be a rough one.
Right.
Eric steered the Chinook under the cover of night and descended swiftly upon Maduro's heavily protected military fortress. This was a major military installation, protected by thousands of soldiers and guarded by...
Whatever your feelings about Maduro, and I despise the guy, what Trump is describing appears to be an illegal operation.
While preparing to land, enemy machine guns fired from every angle, and Eric was hit very badly in the leg and hip, one bullet after another. He absorbed 4 agonizing shots, shredding his leg into numerous pieces. And yet, despite the fact that the use of his legs was vital to successful helicopter flight, legs are the most important part of flying a helicopter, to deliver the many commandos who would capture and detain Maduro was the only thing Eric was thinking about. Then, even as he was gushing blood, which was flowing back down the aisle, helicopter lands at a steep angle. The machine guns stood right in front of him. They were right in front of him, 2 machine gunners who escaped the wrath of the previous planes. Eric maneuvered his helicopter with all of those lives and souls to face the enemy and let his gunners eliminate the threat. Turned the helicopter around so the gunners could take care of business, saving the lives of his fellow warriors from what could have been a catastrophic crash deep in enemy territory. Only after safely landing the helicopter with all the warriors aboard in the exact right spot, which was vital to the mission. We probably would have had to maybe cancel the mission if that didn't happen. Eric told his co-pilot, also wounded, but not as gravely, to take over. I'm about ready to pass out. The success of the entire mission and the lives of his fellow warriors hinge on Eric's ability to take the searing pain. It was unbelievable what's happened to his legs, of the bullets, and keep on flying and landing, and people knew what was happening. Everybody in the back of the helicopter knew because they saw the blood pouring down the aisle.
Dear God.
Chief Warrant Officer Slover is still recovering from his serious wounds, but I'm thrilled to say that he is here tonight with his wife, Amy. Eric and Amy, come on in.
This has become like a game show. It's like who's behind the doors. It's very strange. Trump's looking the wrong way. That's why people are pointing. Trump has no idea where to look.
So we have a surprise for Eric and Amy. In recognition of Eric's actions above and beyond the call of duty, I would now like to ask General Jonathan Braga to present Chief Warrant Officer Slover with our nation's highest military award, the Congressional Medal of Honor.
A lot of medals being handed out tonight.
Well, thank you very much, Eric and Amy. Great to get to know you. I met with them and with a lot of their fellow warriors at Fort Bragg recently. You notice the name Fort Bragg, we have it back, we brought it back. We won the First World War with it, the Second World War with it, and then they decided to change the name. So we changed it back. Everybody wanted to change back too. And 10 of Eric's fellow warriors from that incredible night of victory will also be receiving medals at a private ceremony that will soon be held at the White House, and Eric will be there. Thank you. Thank you, Eric. That's a big one. Tonight we've celebrated many truly extraordinary American patriots, but there is one last living legend to honor before we go. He is one more heroic American aviator, Navy fighter pilot. Royce Williams served in World War II, Korea, Vietnam, flying more than 220 missions. In the skies over Korea in 1952, Royce was in the dogfight of a lifetime, legendary dogfight. Flying through blizzard conditions, his squadron was ambushed by 7 Soviet fighter planes. It was his first aerial combat of the war, and despite being massively outnumbered and outgunned, Royce led the takedown of 4 enemy jets and almost destroyed the others.
Finally, we get to an operation that was not illegal.
263 bullets to his own plane and being seriously hurt. His story was secret for over 50 years. He didn't even want to tell his wife, but the legend grew and grew. But tonight, at 100 years old, this brave Navy captain is finally getting the recognition he deserves. He was a legend long before this evening. Royce, please stand up, and I will ask the First Lady of the United States to present Captain Royce Williams with his Congressional Medal of Honor.
Very few World War II vets left. One of the, arguably the most interesting moment of this entire thing.
Thank you, Royce, and thank you, Eric. I've always wanted the Congressional Medal of Honor, but I was informed I'm not allowed to give it to myself, and I wouldn't know why I'd be taking it, but if they ever open up that law, I will be there with you someday.
Oh, my God.
But, you know, that's our highest honor, Congressional Medal of Honor, and that's a big thing, and it's an honor to be in the same room with you. Thank you both very much, Eric. Thank you.
Trump is really milking this.
Thank you. 250 years is a long time in the life of a nation, but in another sense, it's really a mere moment in the eye of history. Two of the gentlemen we met in the gallery this evening took their first breaths 1 century ago, 100 years before that, on July 4th, 1826, the author of the Declaration of Independence, brilliant, Thomas Jefferson, drew his last breath. Just a single long human lifespan separates the giants who declared and won our independence from the heroes who stand among us tonight. Everything our nation has done, everything we have achieved, has been the work of those few great lifetimes. In those brief chapters, Americans built this nation from 13 humble colonies into the pinnacle of human civilization and human freedom, the strongest, wealthiest, most powerful, most successful nation in all of history. Americans ventured out across the daunting and dangerous continent. We carved paths through an unforgiving wilderness, settled a boundless frontier, and tamed the beautiful but very, very dangerous Wild West. From empty marshes and wide open plains, we raised up the world's greatest cities. Together, we mastered the world's mightiest industries and shattered history's monstrous tyrannies. And we liberated millions from the chains of fascism, communism, oppression, and terror. Americans lifted humanity into the skies on the wings of aluminum and steel. And then we launched mankind into the stars on rockets powered by sheer American will and unyielding American pride. We wired the globe with our ingenuity. We captivated the...
Really just an electric way to deliver these lines.
Now we are pioneering the next great American breakthroughs that will change the entire world. All of this and so much more is the enduring legacy, unmatched glory of the hardworking patriots who built and defended this country and who still carry the hopes and freedoms on all of humanity's backs. For years they were forgotten, betrayed, and cast aside, but that great betrayal is over and they will never be forgotten again, because when the world needs courage, daring, vision, and inspiration, it is still turning to America. And when God needs a nation to work his miracles, he knows exactly who to ask. There is no challenge Americans cannot overcome, no frontier too vast for us to conquer, no dream too bold for us to chase.
You know, a good speaker could take these lines and actually make it sound pretty good. Trump's just out of energy. He's terrible.
End of providence, and these first 250 years were just the beginning. From the rugged border towns of Texas to the heartland villages of Michigan, from the sun-kissed shores of Florida to the endless fields of the Dakotas, and from the historic streets of Philadelphia to right here in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., the golden age of America is upon us. The revolution that began in 1776 has not ended. It still continues because the flame of liberty and independence still burns in the heart of every American patriot. And our future will be bigger, better, brighter, bolder, and more glorious than ever before. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
I believe that a bunch of people just made a ton of money at Trump cutting the speech short of 2 hours, given how many people have been betting that it would go longer and longer based on supposed leaks. It's a story for a different day. A disastrous and kind of pointless speech, I have to tell you. But we made it. Give me a half hour and I will have a video up on YouTube with analysis and commentary. Please remember, independent media does need your support these days. If you're watching on Substack, make sure that you're following or subscribe to the Substack for free. If you're watching on YouTube before you go, hit that subscribe button on your way out. Whatever platform you are on, this is a critical year for independent media. And when we see these flaccid, rotten speeches, it only reminds me of the importance of that. Wow. Wow. I'll see everybody on YouTube in a half hour.